Hey, it's Bobby from brewhardware.com. Let's talk about whirlpooling in your kettle. Now, at the end of your boil, a lot of people will just chill their wort down, put this kettle into an ice bath, or drop an immersion coil into here and run cold tap water through there. Now, whirlpooling is essentially the process of stirring your wort in your kettle. And you can do that with a big spoon and just stir it up and get the job done. But what I want to talk about is where you use a pump to assist in the whirlpooling of your wort. Now, typically, you would have a drain on the bottom sidewall of your kettle. You'd run it into a pump, and then after the pump, the hose would come back into your kettle in some way that would cause the wort to spin without the manual process of stirring. Now, whirlpooling has two main benefits to your brewing process. Now, the first one is if you're using an immersion chiller, the whirlpooling action will actually cause the wort to cool much faster because you're breaking up all the stratification. The cold wort near the coil will move out of the way and let warm wort come closer to the coil. So it will reduce your chilling times probably in half, if not more. The second reason is when you stir or whirlpool the wort, all of the heavy particles that are inside the wort, like hot break, cold break, or hot particles, they tend to get forced to the center bottom of the kettle. So if you whirlpool for a while and then leave it alone for about a half hour to settle before you move into your fermenter, you'll notice that the wort clarity is much improved after the whirlpool. So Brew Hardware has a lot of different methods of getting this to whirlpool with a pumped system. Probably the first and most popular one was this is called the regular spin cycle. This gets installed in the upper sidewall of the kettle. There's another video on this particular product, so I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but this one installs up high through the sidewall. You do need to drill a hole for this one, but basically it drops down and it kicks all that wort around the side so that when you're pumping it'll just spin it up without any manual intervention. The next version that we came out with was the Spincycle Submerge, and basically this is a bulkhead version of that spin cycle that installs really low in the kettle, and it gets the wort comes out on the side port here, and you can kind of spin this around and decide which direction you want it to spin in. The only thing is because it's under the liquid line, you have to put a ball valve on the outside. So this is the Spincycle Submerge. Now, a lot of customers said, I want to have whirlpooling, but I don't want to drill another hole in my kettle. So we came up with the Spincycle Overboard, and that's really the subject of this video. I wanted to show you all the different ways you can order this, especially if you don't want to drill another hole in your kettle. Essentially, it's got a long drop tube. Again, at the bottom, you'll see it kicks off to the side. And at the top, there's like a shepherd's hook, like a nice bend on here so that your hose kind of drapes down, in a comfortable angle without kinking the hose. And it's got a heavy-duty spring clamp in the middle here, so this will clamp onto the top ledge of your kettle and allow the whirlpooling to happen. So you just pop this down on the top here, and this is nice and sturdy. You can connect your hose to the top of here, and you get the whirlpooling action. The cool thing about the clamping action is that you can, once you relieve some of the tension off the clamp, you can adjust the height of this unit to have the output anywhere in the kettle that you want to. The most budget version of this Spincycle Overboard is just an open cut tube right here, so no fitting on the end. You would just put your hose over the tubing and put a hose clamp on there to keep it secure. Now this is 1/2-inch OD stainless tubing, so any hose with a 1/2-inch ID is compatible with this. However, one more slightly elegant way of doing this is to have us TIG weld a fitting on the end of here for you. This is the male cam lock version, which is the most popular option. So if you've got cam locks on the end of your hoses, you can see this just locks down just like any other cam lock fitting. We also have the BLQD style of quick disconnects, the ones that are like air compressor fittings. So that's how that attaches. We can put triclover or triclamp flanges. This is an 1.5-inch triclamp. We could do 2-inch as well. And then last we have the 1/2-inch MPT male. Now, all of these are very sanitarily TIG welded on here. Sanitarily, I'm not sure if that's a word, but there are no nook and crannies in here. These are really easy to clean. And those are all the different Spincycle whirlpool options we have. But the Overboard is the newest one, and I think a lot of people appreciate the fact that they don't have to drill another hole. If you have any questions, please send an email to info@brewhardware.com. Take a look at the product descriptions on Brew Hardware. We have a lot of pictures as well. You can also leave a comment on this video, and I will get back to you as soon as I see any questions. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.